morning. This is Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. I'm Angelina Kelly. We're building up to talkSPORT Breakfast at 6 a.m. with an all-Glaswegian duo of Alan Brazil and Super Ali McCoys. Big Al is on breakfast all week, you lucky, lucky people. On the way over the next hour, we've got all the reaction to Manchester United 0, Everton 1, David Moyes' first win at Old Trafford as an away manager in the Premier League, but it feels like one step forward and two back for United. The Champions League is back. Newcastle, Chelsea and Manchester City are all in action. talkSPORT will bring you live coverage this evening from 7 p.m. And Vinicius Jr. is apparently not willing to sign a new contract at Real Madrid. He's not happy with head coach Xabi Alonso right now. As always, you can get involved on the usual number. Call me on 03717 223344 or on the text 81089. This is the Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. So, good morning, everybody. Hope all is well. I'll be honest, I'm going to come right out of the gates with this. Manchester United fan, yes, I am. And last night, it was not pretty. Man United lost 1-0 at home to 10-man Everton. And it was live and exclusive on talkSPORT.
It's exactly 1 year to the day since Ruben Amorim took charge of Manchester United. It's a red card. Idrissa Gana Gueye fighting with his own player, I think. He was fighting with Michael Keane.
The game's gone. I don't say that lightly.
I quite like when my players have a fight. I don't want them to accept somebody not doing well enough.
Clear strike to the face of Michael Keane. That's the latest from the Premier League match centre.
We didn't play well 11 against 11. We didn't play well 11 versus 10.
Dewsbury Hall getting the wrong side of Fernandes. Gets it back onto his right foot. Shoots into the far corner and scores a terrific goal.
Well, I didn't think it had a prayer with 10 men.
Last time they won here, 2013, Roberto Martinez was the manager of Everton.
Players done a brilliant job.
It's Bruno Fernandes over the bar. 6 yards out, looking for Xerxes, whose header into the far corner is stopped by Pickford.
Be a huge setback for them, wouldn't it, this?
If you look at both teams, they were the better team today.
David Moyes has finally done it, and he's done it with 10 men.
Won a few times as manager here, but not as a visiting manager. It's been really tough.
Manchester United 0, Everton 1.
Yes, Idrissa Gueye got sent off in the first half for slapping his own teammate Michael Keane. But it didn't stop Everton as Kiernan Dewsbury Hall scored the only goal of the game as United could not break down their defence in the second half. Here are the thoughts of Man United boss Ruben Amorim, who told talkSPORT the result and performance was a serious setback.
It's big. It's big. It's not about the result. It's about how the game, how everyone saw the game. We didn't play well 11 against 11. We didn't play well 11 versus 10. The intensity was not there compared to the last games here at Old Trafford. And when we drop a little bit the level of intensity, it's really hard for us to win the game. We try in the second half, but more with the heart and not with good decisions. So I think if you look at both teams, they were the better team today.
You know what? Ruben Amarim, he's right about it being a big setback. It feels like Manchester United have taken big steps forward, momentum has been gained, and then it's been affected maybe due to the international break, and they just cannot seem to bounce back. And, you know, not taking those chances to be competing for those European spots. Maybe it's bad luck. Maybe this is a sign that this team are good enough to be in the top half of the table, which is a massive improvement for Manchester United compared to last season. But maybe they aren't quite ready yet to be going for those European spots because they've not got what it takes to be really competing. It felt like, for me, I'll be honest, it was quite a triggering game to watch because of Joshua Zirkzee. And I don't like to be negative about him, but he's barely had any minutes. And he just isn't good enough. It was like watching a game from last season. It wasn't great. Bruno Fernandes looked off his game. For me, I think the team selection was wrong. You know, Amad Diallo and Bryan Mbeumo, they've dovetailed so nicely together. So I think to have Amad on the left-hand side in one of those number 10 positions didn't make sense. Would have preferred to have seen Mason Mount there. But even try putting Bryan Mbeumo up front, Amad on the right, Mount on the left. You know, even that could have created a little bit more because, to be completely honest, don't have a lot of faith in Joshua Zirkzee. I'm not too sure how long he will be remaining at Old Trafford, but have to give credit where credit is due. Jordan Pickford, he was absolutely excellent. Everton in general, they were easily the better team, but they went down to 10 men in the 13th minute when Idrissa Gueye was sent off for slapping his own teammate Michael Keane. Here's the thoughts of his manager David Moyes speaking to talkSPORT's Sam Matterface.
Did you speak to the referee and ask him why he made that decision? The letter of the law says that unless the contact is negligible, it has to be a red card if there's contact with the hand to the face.
Well, I spoke to Anthony Taylor and he said because there was a hand to the face. It doesn't matter whether it's an opponent or your own player. Do you know something? I quite like when my players have a fight. You know what I mean? I'm sort of saying I want them to be tough. I don't want them to accept somebody not doing well enough. I'll need to see the action, actually, why it was. I don't know if it was Gana's pass or it was Michael Keane didn't get back in, which caused them to be angry with each other. But I don't know any successful teams where the players aren't challenging each other and demanding better out of each other. So there's another side to it from a manager's point of view. But look, it's happened. As far as I'm concerned, we've moved on. Idrissa has apologised to the whole team, to everybody in it. We get a great result tonight. We're certainly not going to let it dampen how we feel tonight.
You know what? This is going to be one of those things that is going to be debated, I feel, all day on talkSPORT. David Moyes might have liked it, but for me, and I get this might split opinion, but it was a red card. You cannot go round slapping people because, where do we draw the line? Even if it was weak or, it's still violent conduct at the end of the day. So I'm not having it. I do think that it was a red card because, let me put it to you this way. If you slap someone in your place of work, you'd be sacked. If I walked into talkSPORT Towers and started slapping people, I would definitely be sacked. I'm glad that he's come out and apologised, and it's all smiles now. Fair enough, Idrissa Gueye's taken responsibility, and, it's all smiles because Everton won, but you can't have any complaints about the red card. Imagine if they'd lost. There would be a lot of fingers pointing at him, and I doubt David Moyes would have been so laid back about it, put it that way. But Manchester United fans definitely had some complaints, but the sports bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy certainly isn't the place to go for sympathy, as Michael the Red Devil found out.
No, it was like, where's the engine? I ain't going up.
What happened, Mike?
Well, where was the engine tonight? Where was the... when Bruno Fernandes tonight, his crossing, passing was an absolute joke. And then just him, it's like Zirkzee, he wasn't no good. It's just the whole, last 5 weeks, we played all right, you know what I mean? We done quite well. But we are better than Spurs.
Oh, I feel so sorry. So sorry for Michael there. When those violins start, you just know that the sports bar have got you. But, I understand some of the points that he's making. And I think you look at the Africa Cup of Nations coming up. Manchester United are going to be without somebody like Amad Diallo, without somebody like Brian Mbeumo. They're really going to miss them. And people might have criticised Manchester United for buying Cunha and Mbeumo. Oh, you've spent all that money up front. You need a midfielder, you need a goalkeeper, etc. But, we are missing somebody like Cunha. Even Šeško, I think, would have done better up front than Joshua Zirkzee because, like I say, he's not had any minutes. But I am actually recording talkSPORT's Manchester United YouTube show Inside Devils later today with Flex, Ryan Scott-Douglas and our chief football correspondent Alex Crook. And I can tell you right now, Crookie is throwing his toys out of his pram. He wants Ruben Amarim gone. Now, we go on a bit of a roller coaster with Alex Crook. 1 minute he loves him and he's apologising. The next minute he's not happy. I'm not sure about it, though. This whole Ruben Amarim needs to go because a few weeks ago, let's be honest, it was all rosy. After 3 wins in a row, this result is a big step backwards, definitely. But really, let's be honest, who are Manchester United going to replace Ruben Amorim with? It's not like there's loads of obvious candidates who definitely fit the bill. And I just think you've gone this far, you might as well give the man time, especially at least the end of this season. But what do you think? Give me a call on 03717 223344 and tell me whether you think Ruben Amorim deserves more time at Manchester United or not. Ring that number and you'll be next live here on talkSPORT. One thing that I've not mentioned yet, though, Everton, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, that goal was fantastic. It pains me. It's at Old Trafford, under the lights. It was brilliant, though. And the fact that it was, the goal to win the game after that red card, that team could have completely down tools, capitulated, but they really did band together. They were absolutely excellent. Adrian Durham and Danny Murphy praised Dewsbury Hall's performance after the game.
Well, all I can say is going to be an Everton player, Danny Murphy, so which one?
I'm going to go Dewsbury Hall, just. And Jai was terrific, first half especially. Grealish was terrific, defence, so many good. There wasn't a bad performance, let's be honest. Even the forwards, Barry and Beto come on, putting himself about. But Dewsbury Hall, overall, the goal, skill in midfield, defensive work, fitness, everything about him, he looked brilliant tonight. It was a really impressive display, and hopefully those Everton fans appreciate it.
Yeah, a quick one on Jordan Pickford. I think a lot of people will pick him as man of the match, and I thought he did make some really good saves. The fingertip one to his right.
He only made one that you'd expect, that maybe you don't expect him to.
But I think if you pick him as man of the match, it does a disservice to what the rest of the team did.
No, he'd tell you that himself. Pickford's made a couple of saves from long-range efforts, which you'd expect him to save. He's made one over the
Xerxes header to the right.
That's the best one.
Yeah, that was
and
a great
that's the
save.
only save, really. If he didn't save it, you probably wouldn't pick fault. And I always look at that when I look at goalkeeper performance. If you're going to give a goalkeeper a man of the match, he's got to make two or three saves at least that you don't expect him to save. And I'm sure Pickford will be happy to pass the man of the match to someone else. There was so much good in that performance for a manager to know that the rest of the season you've got that group of players on your side.
Now, Thomas Tuchel, he was at Old Trafford last night, and you have to think, could Dewsbury Hall be an outsider for the World Cup? I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, you never know. Meanwhile, the live football continues tonight and throughout the week on talkSPORT. It's on to the Champions League as Newcastle head to Marseille this evening. We've got commentary of that, plus updates of Chelsea versus Barcelona and Man City versus Bayer Leverkusen. And on Wednesday, we bring you Premier League leaders Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, who have won 10 out of 11 games so far in the Bundesliga. And over on talkSPORT 2 on Wednesday, it's Liverpool against PSV. Arne Slot's team really need a win after that 3-0 loss at home to Nottingham Forest at the weekend. This is Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT with me, Angelina Kelly. Up next, we'll take a look at the back pages. We'll be talking about Vinicius Junior's future, and we'll be taking your calls on Manchester United. 03717 223344.